What do you love doing, but hate succeeding in? Astronomer here. Some years ago, I was involved in a program that scanned the night sky searching for near-Earth asteroids that would hit the Earth someday. It was super fun, especially if you find an asteroid. But yeah, you really don't want to find an asteroid on collision course that will kill us all. There is always a moment towards the end of a video game where you have to decide to finish the main mission, beat the final boss, and lose interest. Reading books, especially good books for the first time. You're on a journey, have no idea where the end is. At some point it's over, and you know you'll never experience that book the same way again. There are the very rare books where knowing the end, or key bits of information, make the second or third read just as good. Work ethic. I like getting work done with time to spare. I hate that this puts me in a position of getting more work to do without any of the benefits. Well, you did it. You got the blackhead. Your chin is a mess now. Happy? Spoiler, not really. Eating the entire pack of cookies. Taking a long, nice nap, but then realizing you slept for 3 hours and won't be able to fall asleep tonight. Swimming, cause if I do good at morning swim events I have to go back in the afternoon. Graphic design. I love doing it, but as soon as people find out you do it for a job they automatically need your help in building their website, making a logo for their idea, editing photos, etc. I wouldn't mind this, but like, maybe pay me for this skill I learned and got a degree in? They always assume it's free for some reason. I work for a lawyer and so I like winning court cases. It's good to see your client get a good result from the judge or jury. Most of the cases I work on are family law or divorce cases. I enjoy the work. I like helping people. But no one really wins in those cases. I can't really congratulate someone on the destruction of their marriage. So, while I'm happy to see each case concluded, it's sad because that family is destroyed in the process. Procrastinating. Playing fighting games. My friends constantly whine at me if I win because I are more experienced. It's not fun. And I'm not good enough to enter tournaments either. I'm in a weird limbo. Getting fat. It's so much fun on the way there, but being there sucks and I immediately want to leave. Building software that sounds fun to build or that people would be interested in using. I like making the software, but I don't like providing support for people to use it, which is inevitable if other people are interested in it. Sudoku. The more I succeed, the more boring it gets. Reading. Because I hate the feeling when you end a book and you can never read it for the first time again. Browsing Reddit instead of doing my schoolwork. Making babies. Raising dogs. By the time they're old enough to be sold to a new home you love them to death and it's hard to let go. Edit. That's a lot of upvotes. Thanks fellow redditors. Capital O. Letting my kids win at Mario Kart. Just to be clear, I love the idea of letting them win, but it pains me to actually do it. When I worked at Walmart I used to love tossing the truck, however it got to the point that I was doing it every day because nobody could keep up with my pace. Proving people wrong. Probably eating. Because if you eat something good, if you succeed in eating, the feeling just goes away. Finishing video games. Once I beat that end boss, I no longer have an excuse to continue playing. Playing video games with my wife. Procrastinating. I waited forever to leave this comment. Now it will never get seen. I do a lot of wood carvings, faces, bodies, animals, smoking pipes and so on. You spend a lot of time doing it just to make it perfect. But when you're done it's like, oh, I'm done. I gotta give you away now. It's like giving away a part of yourself. Acting like a dumb duck around people just so they don't bother me. Premature ejaculation. It feels so good but it feels so bad. Masturbating. Gaming anime. Straight pain when I finish the game or the show that I'm watching. So bad it brings me to tears sometimes. I work in visitor management in a care home. My job is to sit in the entrance and make sure no one infected with COVID comes in by measuring temperature and testing for COVID on everyone who tries to enter. If I succeed in keeping COVID out, I probably just sent someone home who hasn't seen their old and sometimes sick loved ones in literal months and has waited to get a time slot where they're allowed to visit, only to be then sent home by the asshole at the door because they had a light fever. Karaoke. I can never have the fun of karaoke because I'm musically trained, and I can't really pretend to mess around with the song, so I end up taking it way too seriously and no one enjoys it. Drinking. I love the taste of alcohol, beer, whiskey, bourbon, gin, whatever. I love all alcohol, but I hate getting drunk because I act like a clown and spend money impulsively. Trying to wake up when the alarm rings. Love working on cars, but sometimes hate being real good at it. When your whole family buys junkers, knowing you can fix them cheap, the phone never stops. This is also why I do not own a cell phone, lol. I love making and selling cakes, baked goods, but I dread every order because it means more social interactions. Take the cake and go away. Hockey practices. Same as the swimming guys situation. Cross-dressing. I love it, but the pride of successfully gender bending myself is overshadowed by the fact that most people in my life would not approve, and 2, it's stressful feeling that good in a different gender. My girlfriend plays the violin in a folk rock band. She's the best thing about the band, but hates having all the attention on her. I was late to a mystery book series that my friends really like. As I caught up, I loved telling those friends my theories on what was going to happen. Unfortunately, I was often at least partially right and bad things happen to good characters. Fighting. I definitely don't ever want to do it for real or harm anyone. Trash talking in anything. It's fun, but every damn time I always feel like I went too far. I just end up feeling so bad. I grew up in abuse. As a result, I can spot a potential train smash, that is to say, I can see where things are going to lead and I often speak up about them. Nobody ever listens, and I'm almost always right. I do this as a form of self-preservation, but I really hate being right because being right means that if someone had just listened, there would be less hurt, but that almost never happens. Working under pressure. I always pull through at the last second, but God, I wish I could just do stuff in advance. Whenever I make a prediction or assume the worst, and it happens, it makes me feel like it. I don't want to be right when the outcome is disaster. Being better than everyone else at something. You don't enjoy beating the living hell out of them, but don't enjoy purposefully losing. There is no fun in losing on purpose. I did well in tech for a while. It's just an evil industry run by insufferable people. It's the pits. DRM shouldn't exist for ducking Keurig machines. The thought that my work helped usher in surveillance capitalism makes me want to vomit. And there isn't even a real place in STEM for people who don't want to suck up to these heads unless you count non-profit charities. That's not even touching the I'm not allowed to say, which let me tell you there's a lot, and it's all horribly dark. Like I'm slowly transitioning into living in a solar powered cabin in the woods. I can't be around tech anymore, it's too depressing. Smoking weed. I will take a break, be on a break. Be really productive and social. Get mental health on track, then all of a sudden remember how much I love a smoke. I was swithering for a while if I should get a bag because I only really want 1 or 2. I'll cave and buy a bag, but I'm only going to smoke at the weekend. Once I have everything done. Then Monday night comes. Come home from work. Housework's done Sunday and partner's made dinner. Great. It's only 6:30 and I have nothing to do. I'll just have 1 joint. I'll smoke it really slowly so it doesn't even really count. Once the bag's finished, I'll convince myself I can just get 1 more. That went quickly. Better get 1 more and I'll make it last longer. So the story continues. I'll maybe just continually smoke for about 6 months to a year before going on another break again. I love having a smoke. I succeed at being a sister, but I totally hate it because I'm just so lazy, antisocial, and frankly I think it makes my depression worse. So I hate being a stoner. Helping people in a thankless environment. probably partially my fault, hoping for a thank you or to be noticed, but I will always help no matter what. Finishing a really good book. You start to notice the number of remaining pages doesn't feel quite as thick as it once was. Come to the realization that in just a few short pages it will all be over, and there is nothing you can do about it. Then it's done. You close the book and look around only to find that everyone is going about their day like you didn't just suffer some emotional trauma at the hands of a paperback. Playing video games. When I get too good I stop enjoying it and playing altogether. I love the challenge. The feel of failing and looking for a different solution. Trying and trying until I succeed. I hate when I succeed without a challenge. Enjoy even games where succeeding is not super hard, but make it feel like you worked for it. I don't like just being too good or having it too easy. I hate that. I've been distributing a pet medicine to cancer patients. Bunch are clear now. Friend who works as a cleaner at the general hospital is smuggling it in. Started after my uncle was in chemo after he is pain free then cancer free. Said duck it, so I just cut a purchase order through a dog shelter and wrote them a check. I'm probably going to get murdered. I work in IT and love technology. I'm doing fairly well, but still learning and moving up. Suddenly everyone in my family, all my aunts, uncles and friends of my parents are calling me every time their internet goes down or they can't print. Lockdown has been a nightmare for me. Edit. I should add that I don't even do desktop support as my job, so half the time I don't know the answer either. Love baking. Love eating sweets. Hate myself after eating the whole ducking tray. Chess. It's so fun, but I much prefer having my ass handed to me than winning because I learn better from losing. Telling people at work about that's about to go horribly wrong and then being right about it. Building Lego sets tbh. I love the process but never know what to do with the stuff after it's finished. Once it's finished I'll be proud for like 1 second and after that it's just taking up space. Giving blowjobs. I love doing it but I really hate the taste of sperm. Gardening. It's all fun and games until there's 60 cucumbers in your refrigerator that you don't know what to do with. Having a scathing, self-deprecating, borderline abusive, ever-present and omniscient inner monologue. Picking on scabs. Sadly, I'm full of scars now. Playing board card games with my kids. My friend actually dropped out of culinary academy because it was making him hate food, and he didn't want to lose his passion for fine dining, so he went into advertising, and has always allotted a big portion of his income to swanky restaurant meals even when he was just starting out and desperately poor. He found the best way to engage in fine dining was as a customer. Fishing. There is something quite zen about getting your casting right in form and accuracy, coupled with some friends. It can be very relaxing. Then you catch a fish and have to deal with it. Sex. Very fun, but don't want kids. Eating. Favorite activity, but between my lifelong weight issues, an eating disorder, and a laundry list of foods I'm not supposed to eat due to my insides being thicker than a vegan at a vegetarian convention, I end up paying for ingesting pretty much anything. Playing a video game. I love the game, yet I hate it that I'm one step closer to beating the game. What I mean is, playing the game is fun, finding secrets, beating bosses, passing stages, etc. But when you beat the game and the entirety of the game, you realize that the game is over. No more playing the game because you know what is gonna happen. Yes, people, is what you call despair. I hate how friendly and sociable and talkative I am with just about everyone. Depending on the vibe, it puts me in a situation where I have to endure some pretty awkward conversations. Playing Bloodborne. After 6 cycles it became so easy I can kill most bosses in first try. I am not flexing. I just put so many hours into that game that I know every cheese strategy and can predict every move. Man, I wish I could experience it all over again. Only DLC gives me some challenge. Drawing. Because if I make something worth a while no one cares for it, what's the point? Making memes. Maybe it comes from me growing up back when memes were just a thing that you posted and then they may, or may not, take off. But I make a shitload of shops, some of which are shared widely across the internet. And if anyone outside of my close friends saw how I usually share them with and join in a good laugh before posting so connected them to me, I'd be kind of uncomfortable. Everyone loves to make memes and putting their watermark in them these days so that they can get credit. But at the same time, I kind of hate the commercialization of them. I made that. Look at me. I'm so cool. Hey sponsors, give me money. Duck that. I love seeing someone post an image that they found online made by God knows who, knowing that I'm the one who made it. Sounds weird, but that's how I feel about it. Fishing the River Thames, getting out the house, finding somewhere idyllic and peaceful, casting in the absolutely perfect spot, seeing a big dark shape around where I'm fishing, nailing a perfect catapult full of bait just around my float, catching a fish, it's covered in fish jizz, it's swallowed the hook, I've got to hold it and try to disgorge it without killing it. Someone's going to pop up out of nowhere and say one of these 3 things, I didn't realize there were fish here. Or do you eat them? Or what's the point if you just throw them back? I've got to set everything up again. Teaching. I love my job. I love teaching. But the better I am, the more after school activities I get asked to do. I just wanna go who am me. Binging TV shows. Love doing it. Hate finishing a great show. I love getting wrapped up in a good show, but hate when it ends. For example, I got into How I Met Your Mother a few years back and binged quite a few of the seasons to watch it wrap up with everyone else. I felt like I just watched my friends move away when it ended, and I was a bit sad. Finishing a game you have spent a lot of time on. I just could not beat a mission once in a game called The Crew, so I just explored the whole map and made really much progress except on the story. So when I came back I just completed the game in about a week. After that I just felt really empty inside, like this is it. You have completed your favorite game. There is nothing left to do. When I touch the game it gives me nostalgia just for all the fun I had in it. Popping a pimple. So satisfying squeezing, but then there's a scar. I love playing guitar and singing. I'm definitely good, but certainly not great, and can come up with some pretty good progressions to write songs, and my voice isn't terrible or too forced. Boo it, I only play for myself and clam up and forget how to play if I know anyone is listening. Getting sober. I've been clean over 8 years now, and I can't really think of any moments where I've genuinely been as happy as I was when I was high. I've definitely done the fake it till you make it thing, and I thought that I was happy and whatnot, but I'm starting to realize that I was just tricking myself into believing what I wanted to be true. Anyway, I'm not going to relapse, just venting. Tweeting. I frequently have tweets go viral and it causes me great anxiety. I'd rather tweet and no one hear my opinions. I'm terrified I'll tweet something one day and it will ruin my career, so I'd rather no one paid attention to me. And yet, I love to tweet. Being a process engineer. Hey, go make this better. We aren't profitable, makes it better furiously 2 years later. Oh hey, great job. BTW, you're laid off.